It's a lovely Saturday and full of excitement because we saw some of the teams qualifying to the National League after the playoffs were done. But anyway, it's good to be back on your screens again to give you nothing but the best in terms of sports and where sports is concerned. I'm your host Amos, aka Amore, and today in studio I'm joined by one more Kaumba, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the show, making your second appearance.
Yeah, good morning, Amore, and of course, good morning to our beautiful viewers out there. Yes, and I think today I'm making a second appearance on this wonderful show. So it's good to be back, and of course, looking forward to an interesting show where sports is concerned, because I think we've got a lot of things that we need to offload. As you know, we had the National League playoffs that was happening over the week, and of course, we also had the Ashipolo Polo in action, and of course, other things that we need to discuss this morning. So we urge our listeners to stay glued, and of course, so that we can give them the information that they want to hear this morning.
And as like you've heard, Shipolo Polo had a friendly game which we'll discuss further on it, and looking at the other friendly that is expected to be played, that's against Germany. But for now, for all those who still and who've been watching the advert that has been playing on Camnet TV concerning the Camnet Stars, they are having trials at Kablonga Boys, and the trials are happening just now. For all those who feel like they are capable of playing for Camnet Stars, can just go through Kablonga Boys and they will be tested from there and see if they can be selected. But for now, we'll just take a very short break as we get back and take a look at the things that we've just spoken of. That's the National League playoffs and the Shipolo Polo friendly.
My name is Christopher Adam. Continue watching Off the Pitch on Camnet TV.
The FARS 2022-2023 season is over, and the 2023 to 2024 season is around the corner. Camnet Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, is looking for young talented football players from across Zambia, aged between 16 and 23 years old. Camnet soccer trials will be held on the 30th of June and the 1st of July 2023 in Lusaka at 09 hours. The venue is Kabolonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Your skills could earn you a place in the world of soccer greats in Zambia and the world. Camnet Stars Football Club, the local national team, is a team born for greatness with visionary players. Let us join hands and contribute to high levels of Zambian football standards. Don't miss these trials. The future of Zambian soccer is dependent on you. Make a date with us. Remember, you are born for greatness. See you there.
Hey, join me, Amazing Katamanda, on the weekly gospel show for those exciting and interesting interviews with your favorite gospel
Hold on to me when it's too dark to see. You cannot put your power back to Hallelujah.
And this time around, we are bringing to you entertainment news and the countdown, as you guys are able to nominate your top 3 favorite music videos of the week. Remember, it's every Saturday at 10:45. You can also catch repeats every Monday at 10 hours. Camnet TV is not just another time.
I'm Given Singuruma. Continue watching Off the Pitch on Camnet TV every Saturday.
For those who are just joining us, this is Off the Pitch, the show that comes your way every Saturday. That's at 9:30, and you can catch the repeat that's on Monday at the same time. And for all those who don't have access to watch us on TV, you can also catch us live. That's on our Facebook page, Camnet TV. You can follow it and like it, and as well as our YouTube page. But before we went on a break, for those who are just joining us, sorry, we are discussing the friendly games. Or we were about to start discussing the friendly games that have been played by the Shipolo Polo, and we've played 2 friendly games so far. The last friendly game which we played, that was yesterday, and It's a result that a lot of people didn't expect, because looking at how the game was going.
Yeah, I think it's a result that most of the people, of course, even myself, I think I didn't expect that result. But I think when you look at the caliber of the game, I think that was a high-profile friendly game, if you ask me. Looking at the opponents that we played in Switzerland, I think when you look at the FIFA ranking, I think they are ranked far much better than us, because they are in the top 20 brackets, as in compared to Zambia, who I think we should be ranked number 84th now on the world, moving from 86 previously. So based on that, I think you expected Switzerland probably to have an easy game playing against Zambia, and of course you expected them probably to even go all the way and collect maximum point. The fact that they were the home team, but I think the ladies did account for themselves very well, and we saw, I think, them scoring 3 goals in that game. And I think even last time when I was here, I said Shipolopolo's problem is not in scoring goals, but the problem has been, I think, at the back, where we seem to be conceding goals too cheaply, and I think we saw it even yesterday. First half, yes, we conceded an early goal in the 8th minute, somewhere there, but I think we came back strong and managed to find the equalizer. And as the match went into halftime, Chipolopolo were leading by 3 goals to 1. Yeah, and from there probably you expect the coach probably to close the game, so at least I think a win would have been I think something that would have made all of us proud of our team. But I think the change for me, the change that brought Switzerland back in the game is the substitution of Susan Banda, because I think she was a player who I think was holding on the defensive part very well. Yes, yeah. I think she was consolidating the defensive part very well. But the moment she was substituted, I think we saw Switzerland again coming back strong. And talking about early goals, again, just toward the second half, early minutes there, we saw them probably come back strong, and of course they managed to score a goal to make it 3-2. And toward the end, in the 85th minute, they managed again to score the equalizing goal, and they kept on pushing. So Zambia played the first half, but the second half, I think it was all Switzerland who dominated possession. But I think there are some positives that we can pick from that friendly. If you look at the last 2 friendlies, I can talk about the Tanzania one, and of course coming to the Switzerland game, you can really tell that there was, I think, some sort of improvement from the team. There was a bit of some coordination, because if you saw the 3 players who scored, these are players that most Zambians have criticized, to say, no, I think they are too selfish, and the coordination seem not to be working. But I think yesterday we saw at least some sort of improvement, both of them managing to put their name on the score sheet, talking about Barbara Banda, the captain, Grace Chanda, and of course Rachel Kundananji. Yeah. And again, the other area of concern that I feel we need to probably look at, apart from the defense, is the midfield. I feel like Irene Lungu is not good when it comes to defensive duties. Yeah, he is not really good. Yeah, but to talk about offensive in attack, yes, you will see him. I think his contribution will be positive. And I don't know why the coach has not probably noticed that. Yes, it is a friendly, and you can say he was trying to experiment probably to see. But again, we have seen him use Irene Lungu, I think, in that position, and I think it has failed to yield fruits. So Susan Banda, I think, going into the AFCON, I think will be instrumental for Shipolopolo if we are to probably go further. But another thing probably that I can talk about is, I think, the defensive part. I'll still go back to that. It's a question of if we don't have probably Margaret Belem, if we don't have Lucia Momwemba, if we don't have Martha Tembo, and of course if we don't have Martha Tembo, yes, like I mentioned, who else, if given a chance, will be able to prove? Look at the same player I was talking about, Susan Banda. He was given a chance against Tanzania. he proved it, and now we are seeing her probably being a regular starter in the Chipolopolo team. That is what we want from the players who are usually on the bench. If you are given a chance probably to prove yourself, you need to make sure that you make it count, so that the coach probably, you give the coach a headache to say, this player, yes, I was probably trying to sideline her, but I think she has proven, you know.
Would you maybe say there are just certain players who've reached an extent of saying, okay, maybe let's say these are their numbers, no matter how much I put in competition, I'll never ever replace them? Because when we look at when we look at the likes of Susan Banda, she's been away from national duty, I don't know for how long. I think even from football, because at some point she went away, and maybe there was a point where I had the one-on-one conversation with her, where she said, my guy, I had even gained something, and then I just said that no, let me get back to my base. And then she went back, Red Arrows record her back. She's been performing wonders, and like you've said, she's fought for her number, and we've seen how of an important player she is. But let's take a look at both games that we've played. The first game, we were leading, and then we ended up losing by 3-2. Same applies to yesterday's friendly game. We were leading. By halftime, the game was 3-1. For me, it's a game down. You only have got 45 minutes. But if we are unable to contain the 3-1 win in 45 minutes, who are we to blame? Because if the strikers are doing their job by scoring, we expect the defenders to do the same. Defend.
Yeah, and I think, like I mentioned, the problem has been with the defenders. I think when it comes to attacking, we are really doing well. But it now goes to the technical bench probably to find probably a long-lasting solution to these defensive lapses that we seem to be having. Because you look at the first goal that we conceded, I think it was a defensive error. You know, it was a defensive error. Probably Agnes Msesa not probably positioning herself well. I think it also comes back to positioning of these players. They need to know how to position themselves very well. And I think otherwise, it was, I think, a very good learning curve. Probably some of us can say, yes, it's good that probably we managed to get a draw playing against a team, I think, that had so much players. Some of them play for the likes of Arsenal, others play for Barcelona, and of course Aston Villa. So when you compare the competitiveness of the leagues that side compared to our very own, because like the player we're talking about, Susan Banda, plays right here in Zambia. So when you look at the Zambian league in terms of women's, I think it's just a newborn baby. We are still trying to find our way into there. But so we are not really yet on that level. But I think us managing to compete with such kind of teams give us the much exposure and of course experience that we need. And again, when you look at the opponents that we've been playing, we talk about Ireland, we talk about Switzerland, and next should be on Friday, we should be playing Germany. These are probably teams that will also be participating at the World Cup. So at least it's giving us probably that experience to know what to expect when we go to the World Cup. But I think there's really a lot of work that Coach Bruce Mwape needs to work on because I think we can't be conceding. Each game that we play, we are always conceding. It's only the game against Tanzania where we didn't manage to concede. But again, even that same game, we were almost drawing it, 0-0. So I think there's a lot of work, like I mentioned, that the coach Bruce Mwape led technical bench needs to work on.
Would you say our local coaches don't really perform at the highest level of tournament? Because if you look at the under 20 men's World Cup that we had participated, it was just one and the same, whereby maybe at some point the coach failed to read the game and it costed us. And the last time you came, I think I had asked a question to say, is this the right time for Coach Bruce Mwape to make experiments, looking at the time that we are remaining with? And we are looking at playing the last friendly game, that's on the 7th of July, that's against Germany.
Is it probably the right time for Coach Bruce Mwape to try and experiment? Well, I can say yes and no. yes, in that, yeah, probably, like I mentioned, we seem to be having those defensive lapses. Probably would want to give probably a chance to other players also to see if they can probably try to solidify the defensive duties like he did to Susan Banda. And again, the no is that somehow, because the more you are losing matches, again, it's having a ripple effect on the confidence of your players, you know, because you can't continue going on losing matches. So you want to try and experiment, and then you end up losing the game. So again, that has got, I think, a part to play in terms of confidence-wise. You lose 3 games in a row, heading into probably a very, very important tournament.
Yeah.
It plays on your psychological. It plays on you psychological, and of course mentally also on the as you go into the tournament. But when you win, yes, we understand these are friendlies, but I think when you are winning, you go into the tournament probably with that confidence to say, guys, we have a very good, I think, history or records to protect here. So even as we go into this tournament, let's try to make sure that we continue where we've been, where we are coming from, and of course we continue building from that. But if you are losing, I think the confidence on the players, if they are not psychologically prepared and of course ready for it, usually the end result usually don't, it ends in tears, if I can put it that way.
And hoping Coach Bruce Mwape will fix and work on the areas that he's seen concerning the Chipolopolo, because we've seen them giving us not quite a good of result that we would expect, because we saw a send-off friendly that they played against Tanzania, which we only managed to score in the dying minutes of the game, and that's the only friendly game I think that we've won from the friendlies that we've played so far.
Yeah.
But hoping to see a different result against Germany that will be played on the 7th.
But maybe before we end on that one, you asked about Coach Bruce Mwape and probably Zambian coaches
not again performing to the highest.
Yeah, like you mentioned, you look at, I think, the under-20 when we played, I think, at the World Cup. So many games that we could have won, but we went on toward the end of the match probably to give away the lead, and some
It
of
was a four-goal lead. Huh?
Yes, and we went on probably to draw, and some of the matches we lost them. And but again, is it the right time probably to change a coach? I think it's not really the right time for us to start changing coaches, because the period is just not allowing. A coach who will come in will probably also want to have time to understand the players and also to implement his philosophy to the players. And again, the players will need time for them probably to adapt to the coach's new style of play. So is it probably the right time? That's why you have seen even, I think, the new staffing who were added to, I think we are yet to see the impact of them probably. We can simply say they are probably trying to see, and it just doesn't happen overnight. You need enough time for you to probably understand how these things work, so that even as you go in, you know where to go in, and you know where to probably set your boundaries here.
You know, the good thing is we've seen a difference in how Coach Bruce Mwape wants to align the team. Looking at one Susan Banda, who has been away, but she's making the cut into the starting 11. That shows you to say Coach Bruce Mwape is not playing players on names, but on the issue of performance based, and hopefully by the time we'll be playing against Germany, we'll have a solid team that will give us a positive result. For now, we saw the playoffs being played within the course of the week. Some teams disappointed, some teams didn't disappoint, but more, you were there covering the whole time. How was it like from day one till the final teams qualified?
I think it was a very, very interesting and competitive playoffs. And I think all the 10 teams coming from all the 10 provinces, I think, did account for themselves very well. But I think it came to the teams that really needed it the most, who managed to get that to be promoted. And of course, it was the 10 teams were divided into 2 groups. We had Group A, which had teams like Quattro Kalumbila, Mpulungu Youth, Chipacha United, Nakonde Town Council, and of course Luena Buffaloes. And in Group B, we had National Assembly, Young Prison Leopards, Liver Plate, Ron United, and of course Mwai Mwena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But coming to the matches, I think before the matches could even be played, I think the spectators out there thought Group B was, I think, more competitive because looking at the teams
maybe before you get, let's just have a display of what we are talking about, so that even the viewers are able to follow what Mo is trying to put across. So those are the groups you've spoken of. Group B.
Yeah. So Group B, I think most of the people from the teams that you are able to see there, the likes of Young Prison Leopard, Liver Plate, Ron United, Stylish Boys, you know, people were tipping this team, this group, I think, to be one of the most tough and, of course, competitive one compared to Group A. But I think it was really tough because even in Group A, I think it was more competitive because at the final day, which is match day 5, which were played yesterday, like we had no team that was confirmed to have qualify, to be promoted. And I think from what we are seeing on the screen there, in Group A, it was Quattro Kalumbila, I think, who won that group with 8 points, unbeaten. You know, they won 2. The first game they drew. They were leading in that game and they went on to concede just toward the end of the match. Yes. Again, the second game, again they drew. So it was, the start was not really all that good, but they finished, I think, strong at the expense of Chipata United. And I think Chipata United right now, the people in Chipata, I think, will feel hard done because they celebrated prematurely before the matches could even end, you know. When we were at match day 3, Chipata United were already celebrating to say they have won promotion. When we went to match day 4, they played their game and they drew. I think the morale was a little bit low. You could see the coach, I think he's been celebrating in most cases when the team, when the final whistle is blown.
Not yet blown,
but the moment they played their final game and they drew, I think the celebrations were not really all that. And right now, I think I don't know how it is down there in
and last week, I think that was last week Saturday, I had the discussion. We were chatting with Augustine. We were watching one of these local tournaments that are being played in Kamanga, and he was very certain and sure to say Chipata United this time around are making it. And he made it clear to say, and when Chipata United make it, I doubt if there is any team in the national division that will pick points when they go to Chipata.
Okay, I can say I think they played very well from start, but I think the group was just somehow competitive. Yes, the first games that we witnessed, I think on match day 1, the first game, I think it wasn't really all that entertaining. But I think as the group, as the matches went forward, I think we saw some good football being displayed by the two, by all the teams in this group. But I think it was really quite disappointing to see Luena Buffaloes. You know, Luena Buffaloes, I think this is one of the teams that has been participating at the playoffs.
It's an Army-sponsored team, right?
Yes, they have been playing at this First National League playoffs for quite some time, and of course, you talk about experience, then you should be talking about Luena Buffaloes. But them finishing without winning any single goal, I mean any single game, or not even a draw, I think is quite disappointing for the fans there in Western Province, because they were, I think, expecting a lot. They thought maybe this could be the time for Luena Buffaloes to probably win promotion, but I think that didn't come to fruition. But like I mentioned, coming back to Chipata United, this team, I think they have some good players. Really, they have some good players, but I think they just need to go back. Not all is done. They just need to go back home, probably pick their pieces. At least they have had a feel of how it feels.
And they've done it twice. Even last season, they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I think they just need probably to pick their pieces so that they can probably finish again on top of the Eastern Province League, of which I doubt they will fail to do that, looking at how they performed. So if they come back again, maybe they just need probably to put their house in order and probably come back and pick maximum points. But coming to Group B, where we had teams like National Assembly, I think out of all the 10 teams, National Assembly for me stood out strong. you look at the number of goals that they scored from probably this. They scored, I think, 7. Yeah, they scored actually. They scored 8 goals, and they only allowed 3
goals. Yeah.
Yes.
So which is
they were the highest scoring team at this particular tournament, and of course the lowest conceding team at this particular tournament. So it's not surprising to see them probably win promotion. And the other team, I think, for me, that had some good young talent was River Plate. I actually saw even our father here and our mother, they were there. They went to watch the matches. Yeah, I saw them. They came to watch the first game for Royal United, which I equally covered. I was just standing, I think, behind them. I think we had a very good turnout in terms of fans. They didn't disappoint, especially for the games involving Royal United. I think we had a very, very huge turnout of fans who came in huge numbers. But I think Royal United have made history right now. Not very good history, but a bad one. Because I think they become the first team from the Copper Belt to fail to be promoted to come out of these playoffs. You talk about Jumulo. They did that. You talk about Mutondo Stars. They did that. You talk about Indeni. They have done so. There's all the teams that have come from the Copper Belt have at least managed to win promotion. But it has only been Stylish Run United, I think. And something that has killed them is most of the players were playing for individual glory. They were not playing as a team. It was all about let me
just show
the fact that we have scouts here. Probably I might just be noticed by the scouts there to say maybe they might sign me, because I think first day we had the likes of Chicken George Rwandamina.
Yeah,
they were all there. Masao Sotembo, the Perry, the Ian Bakalas, coach, so many coaches, and of course scouts. They came to watch that game. So probably for some of the players, they were trying to make that make good use of that opportunity so that they can be seen. But I think you need to play as a team at the end of the day, because they ended up costing the team to win promotion. So moving forward, probably we expect Royal United to go back, but again, it won't be easy because I think Ndola United gave them a very good competition.
So meaning there's another run for them.
Yes. So I think that was quite disappointing. But of course, we need to give kudos to National Assembly and Young Prison Leopards, who won promotion in Group B, and of course in Group A we had Kwatro Kalumbila and of course in Mpulungu Youth, who won it at the last minute, and of course they were all tally in terms of points, but of course it came to the goal difference. So that is the importance again of scoring more goals when you have a chance to do so, and trying to make sure that you don't concede a lot of goals.
I can imagine how people in Eastern Province are feeling, because looking at Chipata United failing to qualify, and they were just down by goal difference, and it's very bad. Like Mo has said earlier, that people from Chipata started celebrating a bit early, but Bola ni 90. And as we are talking of the men's National League playoffs, we are not supposed to shy away from the women's playoffs that are being done at NASDAQ. And once they are done, we invite Majuda, who is covering those games, who will come and give us an overview in terms of how far we are going in terms of women's football and the qualification. But before we leave this more, I just have one. Do you feel like these teams that are having these playoffs are given enough time? Because I feel like, for me personally, I feel like time is not that enough.
Yes, time is not enough, and I think we saw some coaches crying foul to say probably the reason why their teams didn't manage to progress to the next round probably could have been come to fatigue issues.
Yeah.
Because they were playing in like 4 consecutive matches. In the case of Chipata United, they played, I think, from match day 1 up to match day 4 without resting. So they felt like fatigue had probably come in and had its part into them failing to qualify. But again, probably the reason why I want to understand the reason why these matches probably were compressed so they can play it in the shortest period of time probably comes to the issue of
is it financial capacity?
Yes, because let's talk about probably making it into a 2 weeks tournament. So meaning teams will need to probably look at their budget and make sure, because it's teams themselves sponsoring themselves. It's not like they are receiving monies probably from FAS or any other. Comes in the issue of lodging, comes in the issue of food,
yeah.
comes in the issue of transport and everything. So now, how many teams can manage probably to camp here in Lusaka? Yes, the teams like National Assembly, they'll be okay because
for
they are
them,
based
they're
right
based
here.
here,
Yeah. But talk about teams like Mpulungu, you talk about Moimwena Strikers, you talk about Kwatro Kalumbira, yeah, maybe their budget is good. You talk about Chipata United, who are just probably sponsored by an individual and just a few people from the community coming in and probably joining hands. So can they manage to camp the team here for 20 days? So probably that could be the question that begs answer. So probably the association was looking at it from that angle to say, maybe let's not put so much pressure on the teams because so that we can just have them play in a very shortest time. But I think it has always been like that, you know.
But I think
even I think when we had the last time, the last playoffs, we saw the likes of Mtondo Stars, Jumulo winning promotion with a game to spare. Even them, they were playing, I think, similar kind of nine. So I think it just comes back to the depth of the team. I'll talk about Luena Buffaloes. I think on the substitution bench, at times I could only see 5 players, 4 players. So it comes back to the depth of the team. When you know that you are going to play, I think, a lot of games in a very shortest period of time, you need to make sure that your squad is up to the standard. So that whoever you put in there, you try to rest some players, but whoever is given a chance to go and play on the field of play, at least should equally give in their A game. So
in short, you need to have about 2 best 11 teams.
Yeah, and maybe if we can have probably sponsors coming in to say, okay, maybe we can try to help these clubs in terms of financial muscle. So that we can have these games be played probably for a period of 2 weeks and so on. Maybe that can be good, I think, for the clubs. But otherwise, they are looking at it from the financial aspect of it. In as much as, yes, it's not good for the field of play itself because it also needs, I think, time to that. And also the players themselves, fatigue, I think, comes in and have its a part in the result. But at the end of the day, I think we just need sponsors to come in so that they can just help clubs so that this tournament can probably be played for at least 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
And hopefully FAS will take note of that because we need supplements in terms of whatever teams are putting in, maybe the association or maybe the major sponsors of our leagues can come on board and just say, okay, this is how much we are going to put in as well. And I think we need visibility in terms of when these teams are having playoffs. It's sad to see us watching such games in our busy schedule. We just have to depend on people who are streaming. And big ups to one Brezani who was ever streaming these games. But it's something that may be going forward. You know, these are important games, and these are games that can even bring value addition to football, because when we say, okay, these teams, we are going to televise these games from point A to point Z, sponsors would definitely come on board.
Absolutely.
Because sponsors would want to advertise.
And I think I was expecting some media houses to probably take that as an opportunity for them probably to do that. I don't want to mention names, but of course there are some media houses who usually cover, I think, the FAS National Division 1.
Yes.
So I think that could have been a very good tournament for them.
To cover, yes, true.
Yeah, but I don't know why they were not there. And of course, leaving it to bloggers to cover the matches. And I feel we can do better. We've seen playoffs from the nation, from England. They are always being televised by their media TVs. People are always following what is happening. But here in Zambia, I don't know why we have to neglect, I think, this tournament. But I think it's also a very important one. And of course, because I was one of those people who was covering, I think, these matches. And I will tell you that the reception from the people who were watching, I think, was very good. Because you don't expect someone coming all the way from Mpulungu just to come and watch the playoffs. Because comes in the issue of lodging. Like we mentioned, 5 days, or let's just say 1 week, which is 7 days. a fan will need to probably be prepared for all those expenses just to come and watch this game. But at least if we have got probably a media house come in and say we are going to televise this game, they will be able to follow from their respective workplaces and the likes. Yeah. So you don't expect someone coming all the way from probably Ikelengi or maybe Chipata or probably Livingstone just to come and watch this.
True.
So these teams equally have got fans who follow them religiously. So they were counting on probably some media houses to come on board and just say, okay, we are going to probably negotiate with Fazo or whoever is in charge of this,
so that we can beam these things
beam these games live. So probably moving forward, we have given them at least a leakage.
It's a leakage, yeah. And I think I've always cried foul on this to say, even the women's league, maybe it's high time we start putting some, maybe, sorry to use this, some respect to that league. We are looking at, it's a league that has produced players that are going to represent us at the World Cup. We are talking about the Women's World Cup.
Absolutely.
But when the Women's League is being played, I don't see any coverage. I've never seen any coverage. So, okay, I'm watching the Women's League on TV. I think it's high time we start looking in those areas.
Well, sometimes they just do it sometimes, you know, when they feel like. Sometimes when there's a double header, maybe they will invite a team. Yes, I've watched, I think, 3-4 games on a certain TV station. But I think that is just not good enough, because mostly I think we see my brother and colleague Moses Pedro is mostly the one who's covering, and sometimes even myself, when I'm not that very busy, when I was on the Copper Belt, I could usually go and cover some games involving Zes Kondola girls and of course Indeni. But I think we, like I mentioned, we need these media houses. We have so many media houses, I think, in this country who can probably step up and say, okay, I think for us, we are going to compete with this team or with this probably media house, so that we can probably be covering these matches. So we need people out there. You know that women's football is actually being followed now by so many people.
Yes. And just look at the last game. You know, the league title was decided on the last game. On the last day, it went to the wire.
Yes.
Well, but you can even tell to say, okay, there is competition. So hoping that the rightful people are able to hear our cry, so that maybe one, because it's just an issue of sponsorship, and as we know, we can't have one sponsor sponsoring the men's league and the women's league. Hopefully one will
and again, probably it starts from there. We need to start ourselves. You know, you don't expect Sabic to come all the way from South Africa and say, no, we are coming now to start probably televising your matches.
I know it
you
doesn't.
don't expect Sky Sports to come all the way from England to say, no, we are now coming to. No. Let's start it within ourselves, because like I mentioned, we have got enough media houses out there, radio stations, TV stations. Let's join hands and probably make sure that we sponsor women's league, because one, it's good also for the players. Exposure.
Yes, exposure matters.
Yeah, exposure matters, because you'll find that there are so many players who seem to be doing fine, but then because there is no exposure probably for them to be seen, that's why they are not given the chance to play for the national team. But if that exposure was there, even us as fans who are watching these games, we can probably say, no, that one plays far much better than this player who has been picked.
True.
That one plays far much better than this player.
It's very difficult to debate whenever the women's final list comes out, because it's rare for people. They don't follow. So it's now up to the coach. And hopefully, my cry, and please, hopefully, when the World Cup starts, hope certain players won't want to use individual brilliance, because there are certain players, whether we like it or not, they'll say, I'm at the biggest stage of the tournament.
Yeah.
This is where exposure is, and that will cost us. But for now, we'll just take a very short break. As we come back and take a look at some of the transfer rumors and the transfer that have made it so far.
My name is Christopher Adam. Continue watching Off the Pitch on Camnet TV.
The FAR's 2022-2023 season is over, and the 2023-2024 season is around the corner. Camnet Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, is looking for young talented football players from across Zambia. aged between 16 and 23 years old. Camnet soccer trials will be held on the 30th of June and the 1st of July 2023 in Lusaka at 09 hours. The venue is Kabulonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Your skills could earn you a place in the world of soccer greats in Zambia and the world. Camnet Stars Football Club, the local national team, is a team born for greatness with visionary players. Let us join hands and contribute to high levels of Zambian football standards. Don't miss these trials. The future of Zambian soccer is dependent on you. Make a date with us. Remember, you are born for greatness. See you there.
I'm Given Singuruma. Continue watching Off the Pitch on Camnet TV every Saturday.
It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamagazagia, to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. For those who are just joining us, this is Off the Pitch, the show that comes your way. That's every Saturday at 9:30 hours, and you can catch the repeats. That's on Monday, but you can also leave us a comment. That's on our Facebook page. For now, we are just going to take a look at some of the transfers that have been happening, and we've seen already that our very own Tostan Sabata has already been released by Sekekune United, and our vice captain had it to say even him as he's been released.
Yeah, I think not so good for the player, I think, who plays for the national team, talking about the goalkeeper. But I think he will do well probably to just try to find a club that will probably give him enough game time. Because at the end of the day, in the absence of Lawrence Mlenga, probably you expect Tostan Sabata to be one of the favorites to stand in between the sticks. So I think that's usually doesn't sound so good, but we just hope the next move that he will make probably will be a move that will push him even extra, to work even extra harder moving forward.
And we've got here, because mostly we've got our very own data non-stop. He's a Fabrizio. I would say he's a Fabrizio of Zambia. We've got one courtesy of all the transfers and rumors that we are giving you. These are courtesy of one Wami Katanga. And we've got one here, data non-stop. Manongo Zanaco have secured the signing of winger Jonathan Manongo on loan from Green Eagles. Deal done, confirmation coming soon. We are seeing Zanaco trying to boost up the team, and we saw how they ended the season last season after getting Wada Wada. And are we seeing a different Zanaco going into this coming season after this transfer?
I think it's only right for Zanaco probably to try and make a reinforcement into their squad, looking at how they ended their last season. They were, I think, not the Zanaco that we've come to know, because I'll tell you that in the last decade or so, I think Zanaco and Zesco United have been amongst the top performing teams. But to see Zanaco probably fighting relegation even toward the last matches into the season, I think was quite very disappointing. But yeah, it's good that they need to, I think, identify areas of concern and probably try to make some reinforcement. And especially, I think, with the striking force, I think for me, that is one area that they need to work on, because I think they didn't score a lot of goals last season. That is why they were even struggling. But if they had, I think, a prolific striker, they were so much relying on Abraham Siankombo, I think, to get them the goals. But hey, he can't do it alone. Yeah, there are also times when probably your top performing player is not having a good game. You also probably should have a second, third option who you can say, if we manage to bring in this one, or if this one works with this one, probably we are going to see some more goals. So I think it's good for Zanaco, but they should continue probably trying to reinforce their squad.
And we've seen our very own one Rari Warrior has switched comes from Amazuru to Sekekune United. And I don't know how. So okay, so far, how would you rate his stay in South Africa?
He also seemed to be, I think, a tourist moving from one club to the other. Remember, just not so long ago, he was in Tanzania, where he was released by, is it Yanga? And then from there, he went to South Africa. Again, a very short stint, of course, with the club he was with. And now we hear he has joined Sekhukhune United. But I think for me, Ladiboya is a very good player, but I just don't know what is happening. If at all, maybe they are just failing probably to compete favorably with their other colleagues from his team, probably because I think he didn't really see a lot of game time. That's why probably they opted just to not continue with him and released him. But I think he has been spotted by another club right there in South Africa, and of course we just expect him to up his game. I think it's not just good for a player moving from one club to the other.
Yeah.
The next season you are with the other club, then it's just not so good because no club will remember you as a legend.
Very true.
Clubs will only remember you as a legend provided that you've been saving for a very, very long time, and of course your contribution is something that they're able to see. But if you are moving one season you are with this club, the other season you are with this club, I think you won't make a mark for yourself. So it's not really all that good, but we hope he will be able to find a club that he can call home.
Another one, just a quick one. We have seen one Augustine Mulenga joining DSTV Premiership side. That's Chippa United from Napsa Stars. He signed a 2-year deal, and it's something that I wasn't seeing this coming. Like Augustine leaving the country again, going back to South Africa, and I don't know if it's something that you expected, but he had a good run with Napsa Stars last season.
South Africa, for me, I feel like most of our players usually fail to tick right there in South Africa. Only a few have managed to talk about probably Isaac Chansa and
Collins
probably Collins
Mbesuma,
yeah, these are players probably who had a very good stint right there in South Africa. But there are some young players, good, talented players who have come right there in Zambia. They had a very good season, go to South Africa, and they have come back, I think, not really good. Talk about Austin Mowo. Remember when he was playing with Forest Rangers, he won, I think, the player of the season. He had a very good season with Forest Rangers. Then a South African club came and, of course, they managed to secure his signature. It ended in tears. You talk about Lazarus Kambole, another player, I think, who had life at Zesco United. We saw how he helped them probably in continental football, also in the league, but he went to South Africa. It ended in tears. Another player is Deco Mukukamlenga, who played, I think, some good football when he was here. When he went there, I think it all ended in tears. All these Augustine Mlengas and Justin Shongas, they have gone there, they have come back. And him making another bold decision to go there, probably they are looking at the money aspect of it.
And the age.
Maybe they are offering a lot of money there. And of course the age, yes, like you've mentioned, football is a short-term career. So maybe they are looking at it from that angle to say we only have a few more years to play football. So let's make money.
But again, let's look at it in this angle. How is Gampanilungu surviving?
I think it's hard work and discipline again.
Yeah,
because for especially these two players, I think we have heard a lot of stories that have come from South Africa. But I think, I don't know if you've heard anything bad concerning Gampanilungu. So it also comes back to discipline aspect of it. So I think most of our players lack discipline. That's why at the end of it all, they usually fail to tick there, and then they will come and play a blame game to say, no, this, they favor their own. But again, my friend, you need to up your game as well, you know, because some of these players, we've seen them, they have come back here. I'll talk about, anyway, let me not mention names. Yeah. They have gone there, they have come back here, they have been given chances by clubs right from here, but again, they have failed to tick. They are still bench warmers, drinking water on the bench there for a player who played in South Africa, which is you expect him when he comes here probably should be a starter. He should prove to say, yes, I wasn't just given enough game time, but I still have what it takes, you know. But they have failed to do that.
Anyway, let's just this last one more as we look at one Lamek Banda leaving Muza FC, and rumor has it that Lumwana Radiants are set to appoint him. That's something that we didn't see coming. But anyway, it was expected to say Coach Lamek Banda would definitely leave.
Did we see this coming? I can probably say no. I think personally I didn't see it coming, but I think it probably came back to Muza failing to probably negotiate very well with let me just say, refusing probably to have a talk with the agent for Lamek. They believed in just having a one-on-one talk with the coach himself, personal talk with the coach. But then the coach had sent, according to reports that of course reached my my information desk, is that Coach Lamek Banda has sent his agent to go and negotiate on his behalf. But Muza refused to say, they just wanted to talk to the coach himself. So at the end of it, because I think all along they have been talking to the coach himself. Remember, he comes from the youth ranks of Muza and to be where he is now. But again, others out there are saying probably, maybe it could have been the fact that his coaching badges probably would have come into play here, because CAF would demand for you to have a certain level of a coaching badge for you to probably be there. We saw what happened to Ian Bakala, I think, when he was at Cab Warriors. He was, I think, given, he managed to take Cab Warriors to continental football, but it came back to the badges. He didn't have, of course, badges that could make him probably coach Cab Warriors. They opted to find another coach. So maybe it was Lamek Banda looking at it from that angle to say, maybe I need to leave the stage before, as people are still clapping, before probably things go bad, before we hear that he's probably been pushed to a second or a third assistant coach, because of course it was evident that his coaching badges cannot take him to coach Muza to continental football. So probably Muza were trying to probably look for other options. So in one way or the other, you can say it's probably a good move, but we'll wait and see whoever will be. Now we hear rumors already that Muza probably will soon be appointing a new coach. We already hear the names, but of course we'll wait for the official confirmation, and it will now be to see if the coach will have enough time to prepare Muza for continental football, because where they are going, that's where football is. And I think they will be competing against teams that have come out best in their respective countries. So it won't be easy. So Muza needs to reinforce their squad, and they need to make sure that I think they find a very, very good coach with a tactical discipline to push them all the way, because we need those 4 slots.
Anyway, a good job that Coach Lamek Banda did at Muza. And it's something that would say it was a fairy tale of a season for Muza AFC.
Absolutely.
And I would just maybe compare it to the season that Leicester managed to carry the EPL league.
Yeah.
It was an odd that a lot of people never saw coming. But anyway, that's how things are turning in the world of sports, and that's in the world of football. And earlier I said it to say there are trials that are being played at Kablonga Boys Secondary School. Camnet Stars is holding those trials. They want to recruit new players going into the other season. So if you feel like you can do it and you're able to do it, you can just go there and have your skill tested from there and see if you make the cut. But anyway, we've got some comments here from on our Facebook page. One is coming from Augustine Rio Flowers. That's our very own Augustine. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm following. Nice job. Thanks, Augustine. And hopefully to have you next week. And we've got Emmanuel Sakara, who is saying, watching from Chipata. I hope you didn't take offense, Emmanuel Sakara, when we spoke of how Chipata has felt to make you proud, guys. But anyway, be proud and receive them wholeheartedly and just give them a champion's welcome. And we've got Makelele Sibe. So good morning. I'm watching you from Kulimata, our bus station. We love you guys. And I love football life. Thank you very much, Mr. Makelele Siveso, for following. But anyway, as we come to the end of the show, we can't forget one of our very own athletes who made us proud within the course of this week.
Talking about Muzala.
Muzala. The lad keeps
champion.
on, yes, he keeps on making us proud.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that his ratings are dropping each and every day. His rankings, are dropping, because this previous race he was ranked 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And his target is to continue making us proud as a nation. Your concluding remarks as we just come to the end of the show.
Well, I think I would just love to wish all the teams that won promotion, I think, to probably prepare themselves adequately.
It's not an easy road.
Yeah, it's not an easy road. We don't want to have a situation where a team comes and goes immediately. We at least want to have a representation, I think, from all the 10 provinces of Zambia. That's why I was hoping to see Chipata United win promotion. I was hoping to see Mwaimwena Strikers at least to be one among the promoted teams. But of course, it didn't happen.
Okay, that's the quick one. Which teams were, when the groups were made, which were your final teams? Like to say, okay, these teams are going to make it.
I was expecting Quattro Kalumbila, yes, to win promotion. I was expecting Chipata United.
Yeah.
I was expecting Ron United, and I think I was equally expecting National Assembly to win promotion. Yeah.
Anyway, this is where we've just come to the end of the show. As one Patrick Soko would always put it, this is the time that we have to excuse the screens. But on behalf of the whole entire production team, not forgetting one more Kaumba who has made it possible today to be my co-host and my guest, and we've had a good chat. Thanks for coming once again, Mo.
Oh, the pleasure is mine.
It's
been great.
Yeah, and not forgetting Eliza upstairs, who is directing us, and the whole entire production team, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chidwa, for always giving us this platform to give you nothing but the best in terms of sports. I've been your host, Amos, aka Amore. Stay glued to Camnet TV for Amazing that Amanda is coming on your screens with the weekly gospel show. I'm out. See you next week. Bye bye.